Once again, we are back. Vince Mirabelli here with one half of the 5 to 9 podcast hosting guys. With me is the other half of the hosting guys, Michael Martino. Mike.
Hey, everybody. Coming
Welcome.
at you.
Welcome again.
How are you? It's been a while.
It has been a while. We have been busy with things.
Yep.
And the stuff and lots of doings
and things
going on that have precluded us from recording episodes earlier. In reality, I think we've both been sick at different periods over the last couple weeks and days.
Yep.
And the other thing was we didn't have anything to talk about.
I think it was a combination of had other things on our plate.
Yeah.
And we didn't have anything to talk about. Yeah. So
and we're just plumb fresh out of ideas.
Which
Maybe
happens,
we should talk
I think.
About.
Well, it happens in business.
It happens everywhere.
You're plugging along in your business and you run out of ideas, let's say, for like the next product or service that you want to deliver.
Right.
So what do
or
you
next
do?
Podcast episode.
Or maybe you have a podcast and you go, what the hell are we going to talk about?
Yeah. So
we've been working on something that our two disciplines are putting together. We're kind of hacking this whole design thinking thing. And one of the modules is brainstorming.
Get your umbrellas out. It's time to brainstorm.
How can the 5 to 9ers, when they get into trouble, like, I don't know what to talk about the next podcast, how do they come across ideas?
So there's a couple different methods that I like to use, and I think so. What we're going to do is we're going to present some concepts here and use the one that's best for you. There's the always popular brainstorming.
Storming and norming.
Storming and Norman.
That's it.
I know. Brainstorming is just a dump of ideas. For those that don't know, so essentially the approach is you start with a blue sky, totally open field, some other analogy, and the world is open to anything and everything you can think of. Time, money, resources, reality don't exist in the brainstorming world. So you can think of anything, because it's not, at this point, about quality, it's about quantity. So it's just generating a bunch of stuff. Now, I've got some opinions on that, Mike, but I'm interested to hear what you have to say about the brainstorming.
So for the first thing, brainstorming.
Yeah.
If you're a 5 to 9er, you probably don't have a lot of people to brainstorm with because it's just you or a partner. So if you have if it's you and I, maybe we can do some brainstorming. But if it's like a solopreneur and it's just them, it's kind of hard just to brainstorm. You have nobody to riff off of.
And that's the key.
Sorry, there's nobody to riff off of. So, but let's say you're doing it you're in a group of people that are trying to do a business, or even if it's for 9 to 5. Everyone throws out ideas, and there's no wrong idea, but I don't know if just throwing out ideas is a good use of everyone's time, because I don't know in that if all the best ideas get out, because it could be just the people that do a lot of talking. They get ideas, and you're not getting the best ideas. But I'm not, unless you have a really good facilitator, I've always found those to be just kind of chaos. I'm done with that.
So I think what Mike And this can really throw the actual process of brainstorming into misalignment, because now you're not getting people's best ideas. You're just getting the opinion of the loudmouth who's in the front there. So
Yeah.
brainstorm, that's the biggest issue I have with brainstorming. And you touched on something interesting there, Mike. Now that I think you're back, you touched on something interesting in that brainstorming is not great as an individual exercise. It is possible to do, but you're missing the as you said, the riffing, the building on other people's ideas, and using it as a springboard into something of a different idea. So combining multiple ideas into something brand new, leveraging those together and collaborating, and so that is important. And you probably heard me say, Mike, the biggest thing is that with brainstorming, it's the loudmouth who dominates the discussion, and very rarely, usually there's some quiet folks that are really smart, but don't get heard because they're overpowered or intimidated by the louder folks in the room. And I've been both of those. Early in my career, I was the quiet one who just sat there and offered advice only when I was asked. And now I'm swinging back towards the middle, but at one point I would try to dominate conversations because I felt like it. So I could turn it off and on, baby. So yeah, I mean, brainstorming is a tool. It's not always the best tool, but it is a tool. So that's one. Can I throw out one that's very underused and is more for the introverted folks like myself?
Sure.
But only works in a group setting, so may not be applicable. It's called brain writing. Have you ever heard of brain writing, Mike?
I've not heard of brain writing. So
brain writing takes the principles of brainstorming and, using the magic and power of sticky notes, post-its, as it were, you write ideas on a post-it and you pass it around. Do you see why it doesn't work by yourself? You pass it around to the other members in your group, and then you build upon the ideas of others. But it's all quiet. That way everybody gets a say, and it's just sort of so brain writing, same principle, but it is a little bit more inclusive.
That one's a pretty good one.
Yeah, I like that one.
That one's a good one.
It's part of my my workshop, improving your creative and critical thinking, because there is a big portion of the world that is introverted, and they often don't get heard, and rather than be frustrated, this presents another option for them. So brain writing, underused, totally valuable.
Good one.
Yeah.
So not so much brain writing. So this is more for the 5 to 9ers. It's kind of brain writing, but you're doing it by yourself.
Yeah.
So if full disclosure, got this from Tim Ferriss' book, and I've started using it. If every day you get up and write, the thing is that the prescribed version is 10, but the guy probably just pulled it out of his ass. Even if you write 5 ideas, no matter how shit they are, or 10, no matter how shit they are, but every day you write 10, let's say, 10 ideas about new business ideas or new verticals or stuff to write about, just any 10 ideas that have to deal with your business, obviously. Eventually you're going to have lists and lists that you'll be able to actually pick out ideas. There'll be ideas in there. So if every day you're doing 10 and every third day there's a good one in there, if you're consistent, you're going to have a shitload of ideas.
Yeah.
So I like that one. So both for like the big ideas and just for like a blog post, or sometimes you can go, I'm just going to start for a week. I'm just going to do every day. I'm going to write 10 things I could write a blog post about, and maybe you'll get like 3 in that week or 4, but which is okay. You've done a whole, but you've thrown, and one of my Instagram posts was, are you giving yourself enough at bats? And this would give you enough at bats to get some ideas for a podcast, for your blog, for new verticals in your business.
Right.
Go figure.
New products, whatever. I read that part, Tools of Titans, right, Mikey?
Yes, that's the one. Tools of Titans.
Great book. That was
Tremendous.
the James
Tremendous.
Altucher. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but James Altucher section where I actually think you've given some bad advice there, Mike. What's his advice when you can't think of 10 things?
I forget.
Think of 20.
Think of 20.
Because it's easier. You take the pressure off because you know that of those 20, 19 might be throwaway. Whereas if you scale it down, then you think, oh, I only have 5 ideas today. They better be good.
Right.
Think of 20 and just think of nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
I have this is one I haven't adopted yet, but I want to, and I just haven't pulled the trigger yet. But because I find every month I've started writing for a website that deals with business process and operational excellence and stuff, and I have to deliver one article a month, and I keep missing deadlines because it comes to like 2 days.
I lost you.
Articles, videos that you want to make, little meme poster quote things that you want to put together, like whatever you're writing down, so write it down and then take a look. Is anything feasible? And just because it's not feasible today doesn't mean it won't be tomorrow or next week or next month or next year. So make sure you're not only writing those down, but you're keeping that list, and you review it periodically, because you never know when something's going to hit. And maybe you can combine an idea from day 1 with something you wrote down from day 30. So it's good to review periodically.
Yeah. So another one to go along with that, which goes along with your missing deadlines, is to write every day. Yeah. Which is tough when you work and you have a 5 to 9.
Yeah.
But if you're going to write an article, because if you write every day, you're going to have good stuff, because again, you're giving yourself enough at bats. But if you write every day and around the same subject, just like you said, you'll be able to put something together from day 1, day 3, day 5, day 20, boom, you have an article. Or you can go back and go, oh, there was a nugget there that I can then riff off of and have an article. And this comes from the War of Art. Yeah. Which is a tremendous book. If you're a blogger, or you're like an artist or a writer of some sort, that's a great book to read, because it talks about, the resistance, which is every reason why you can't write every day, and then the discipline of writing every day. In that shit doesn't magically come to you and you're like, oh, there's an article. Yeah, I got the inspiration, so I'm gonna sit. I feel inspired now, so I'm gonna sit at my keyboard and bang out the best article ever. A good writing comes from every day banging out content. Yes.
This one's painful. No, this one's painful. This one is painful because I read that in the War of Art, and I thought, I am gonna do this.
It's
slam. I am gonna write 500 to 1,000 words a day, and I'm gonna do it every day.
Damn it!
And I didn't even get day 1 done. I stopped before I started. Like, it didn't work out. And I'll say it, my excuse was kid number 2.
Right.
Who showed up just before the end of 2016.
Right.
Like literally the 11th hour. So my thing was January 1st,
I'm gonna start banging out
Every
content.
day I'm gonna start nailing content, and didn't even get January 1st. Now here's the mistake that I made.
What's that?
I missed one day. Oh well, and didn't get in on January 2nd.
So yeah. So
It's like, oh, I already broke it, so whatever.
That's just like
Bad.
working out.
Yeah.
I missed Monday, so what's the use of going Tuesday? And if I didn't work out Monday and Tuesday, what's the use of keeping my diet up? So I'll start fresh Monday.
Yeah.
Instead
It's a
of,
vicious cycle.
I missed Monday and Tuesday, but I'm going Wednesday anyway.
Listen, man. I got problems.
I got problems. So
I got problems.
You take the train a lot, no?
I do. Every day.
That's probably a good time to set the Pomodoro timer. Maybe just bang out 20 minutes of whatever nonsense you can write.
Yeah,
or that doesn't work.
It's not super convenient because my laptop is quite large.
How about if you write like the old days, like in a book? You have lots of books,
and then I gotta get home and write it again. No.
I'm making excuses. That's the resistance.
Man, I'm making excuses. What I've actually here's a tip. Here's what I've actually done. We have started this project that we're working on, writing in OneNote.
Yes.
And so I have the OneNote app on my iPad. I also have it on my my cellular device.
Cellular.
And so I have been writing on my little tiny keyboard whenever inspiration strikes. Yep. So, at least please.
You could get a keyboard for your iPad.
I could, but I think they're
$20.
Yeah, I could. So
on sale 30. Oh, you can get the case and keyboard $34. Best Buy.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm
just busting your balls now. All right.
I'm hoping to get
Listen, bro. Okay, I don't care about this subject anymore, bro.
No. Hey, it's all good. It's all good. I'm hoping to get, because I have a small space iPad.
Yeah.
It's only got 6 gigs, and now that I'm traveling a little bit more, I need more space for media and various entertainment-y things. So I fly with the new device-ular things. So that's my excuse.
Okay. I can hear our 4 listeners going, okay, bro, move on to something else.
Yeah. So I was going to close with suck it.
Hey, there you go. So what's another tool to help generate ideas?
So here's one that I kind of like, and it's another one of those unknown, underused things, also from my workshop, Creative and Critical Thinking. It's called the Scamper Approach. You ever heard of Scamper, Mike?
I have not.
Okay, so Scamper is an acronym. So you start with an item, say this marker, and you go through a series of inquiry whereby you ask questions related to substitution. Is there anything that I can substitute on this device to make it brand new? Combine. Can I combine this with something else to make a new product? And let me give you an example. I've got one right here. Look at that. Look at that. That is a pen with a highlighter.
Oh, look at that.
See what I mean? So there is an example where we've combined previously. This required 2 things.
And now
And
By
in
the
one,
power of science.
by the miracle of science, it's down to one thing. So I'm gonna look at items and say, is there anything I can do to substitute, or can I substitute something in or substitute something out? Can I
Yeah.
combine it with something else? Can I adapt it in some way, change it? Maybe, translate it into a new language, for example. And now, if you've written a book and it's in English and now you've adapted it to French, guess what? You have a whole other market that you can appeal to. Can you magnify or modify anything? Can you put it to other uses? P. E, can you eliminate anything from the object? And R, the scamper, can you rearrange or reverse anything? So it's just a series of inquiry that gets you thinking creatively on the use of a thing. So let's say you wrote a blog post. Can you leverage that blog post into something else? Can you combine a year's worth of blog posts into a book? Can you get the blog post to be dictated, and now you've an audio recording, and now you've got an audio version?
Right.
Can you get someone to make you one of those explainer videos out of your blog? So how can you take this piece of something and turn it into something different and something more that's going to enhance your brand? So I like the Scamper technique, and this is one that you can do in a group, but I actually find that this is a lot more.
Also do it alone.
You can also do it alone. It's a lot better alone because as long as you're in that frame of mind, I find, and that's the thing with a lot of these. So Scamper.
So we've been doing a lot of active ones.
Yeah.
Some passive ones are just reading, and maybe reading outside of your business area. Just reading something completely different that maybe you could then use for your business area.
Right.
Like tweak it, hack it. So just plain old reading that then you can maybe hack into use, or you can augment for your purposes. That's also a good way of getting new ideas.
Right.
Or take a nugget of that or the feeling of that and turn it into something for your 5 to 9. So good old reading.
Right.
And it could be a book. Doesn't always have to be a blog post.
Yeah. And maybe we'll close off with maybe the greatest of the passive approaches to thinking of new ideas.
Heavy drinking?
No, but that's a good one too. No. You ready for this?
Go ahead.
Doing nothing.
Just
not thinking of other ideas.
Right.
Let them come. So sometimes you ever notice that some of your best ideas happen when you're not thinking about thinking?
Yes.
That's because your subconscious is actually solving problems without you knowing about it. So just because you're not thinking, oh man, what am I going to write about this week? Or what are we going to talk about on the next episode of the podcast? Or just stop thinking about it. Just let it go.
Yep.
Let it go. And the idea will come to you when your subconscious has figured it out. And that is maybe the coolest thing about people, is that we continue to operate and function when we're asleep.
Yes.
I'm fascinated by that.
So, and another one of the chapters, if there are chapters in Tool of the Titans, or another section, was it a section, or did I hear it on his podcast, the Tim Ferriss podcast? I can't remember.
So Mike's cutting in and out there.
Oh,
I'll just jump in there. So,
I'm back.
Did we lose him?
I'm back. There? I'm back.
Okay.
I'm back.
What the fuck? Find yourself stuck and it could be a writer's block thing. It could be,
Hey, I'm back.
you're trying. Hey, I was vamping.
Okay.
So I was closing off their mic, and I was
Okay.
saying that there isn't a right way to do things, but you can take the active approach of trying to force ideas, and maybe you come up with some gold, and maybe you don't. And you can take the passive approach of just sort of being. We do not advocate heavy drinking, but if you're over the age of majority in your province or country, you're welcome to do whatever you want. But whatever you do, figure out what works for you, and go with that. And and maybe it's a combination of a couple of these things, but figure out what works for you, and more importantly, just continue to be creative and continue to create, because I think it's when you stop feeding the well that it dries up.
Right.
Oh, maybe that's what we should call this episode.
Ooh.
That was a good one. When you stop feeding the well, that's when it dries up. So,
Yes.
read, learn, adapt, think, and don't think. Like, just let things happen. But, do what you need to do. These are the things that help us. Let us know what works for you. And if you've never tried some of these tools like the Scamper and the brain writing, give them a try. See if they work for you. And if you want more help on or you want a hand and want to talk through how to actually apply those tools, or those techniques rather, hit me up, send me an email, send me a tweet. Happy to provide some insight and some guidance into how to actually execute on those. So there you go, Mike.
All right.
What is next?
It's March break for us up here in the good old Canada.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be spending some times with the youngsters.
Yeah.
How about you?
I am not on March break.
Okay.
And depending on when we get a chance to chat again, I may or may not be. I'll actually be out in. Sorry, I'll be. This sounds counterintuitive, coming from Canada. I'll be up in Minnesota on the 21st of March, 2017, delivering my highly acclaimed workshop, Lean Six Sigma for project managers and business analysts. So I will be out there speaking to that group and presenting a day of really just an introduction to some of the tools and techniques and how they can be applied in a project management or project environment. So this is going to be my first trip in almost a year, in about 10 months. So I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also not looking forward to it. So I'm a little bit mixed with kid 1 and kid 2 being so awesome. So anyways, that's what I'm up to. But
all right.
Yeah. As always, you can hit us up at the 5 to 9 community. You can get me at Vince Mirabelli on Twitter, Vince_Mirabelli, or at my website, www.vincentmirabelli.com. And Michael Martino, your details are?
Michael on the Instagram, at Michael Martino 59 for the 5 to 9 community. And you can get me on my website, michaelmartino.ca.
Ooh. All right, folks, give us your questions, your comments. We want to know what we're doing. We want to know what we're doing. We want to know how you're doing and how we can serve you better. So please listen to us, and we do appreciate each and every one of you that listens. We want to make sure that we're giving you value, and the only way we can do that is if you tell us how we can give you value. So until the next time.
All right.
5 to 9 out.
See you later, everybody.
See ya.